Okay, good morning guys, and today's topic is all about concept of the dimensions of child development. Now, before we go ahead, it's important for us to understand what is this word called dimensions mean, right? So dimension if you look from the dictionary point of view, so it's a measurement in a space, for example, the height, width or length of something. Okay, so when development of a child takes place, so there are so many physiological, social, emotional and other kind of changes which takes place, right? So that is known as or defined here as a dimension of the child development. So let's see at what it says, that the child development is multidimensional. It has been called multidimensional. The reason is very simple, as the meaning of the word multi means many. Okay, so it is not only the change in the one, but it is change in the more than one. That is why. And what is that more than one in which the child's development takes place? That is called your physical development takes place, cognitive development takes place, emotional development, moral development, and psychosocial changes takes place. So are the major changes. And further it said that these dimensions of development are those aspects of human life which changes throughout the lifespan. And it is not like that once they develop and it stop. No, it is small scale, maybe a very tiny fraction of it. Okay, but the changes takes place for rest of the life in the human body. All right. So that we are going to discuss now. First, we will discuss about the physical development. Okay, so what this physical development is when we are talking about. So prior to the concept of physical development, here it is given. Okay, let's take an example of a newborn baby. Okay, up to certain age, right now she or he has no control over his movement. But within the 8 month, as the time period of 18 months, okay, passes. Okay, there are some changes. Okay, then he will be walking, in other years running, and soon after jumping and throwing and kicking, and all this kind of activity automatically develop. Okay, in the first 2 years a child develops physically at a faster rate. Okay, at initially at the first 2 years, so there is a rate is very faster of the development. This physical development forms a significant, means important basis for the developments in cognition. Okay, in cognition and emotion. Okay, and what is this cognition over here? It is the process by which the knowledge and understanding is developed in the mind. Alright, so this is what we call it, cognition. So cognition, process, emotions, everything developed. So physical growth and the development refers to, this is a process to which brings the bodily and the physiological changes, okay, internal as well as external, in a child from concepting till death. Alright, so right from the time of birth till death, there are many physiological changes takes place in a person. Right. So let us first discuss the characteristic of this physical development during the childhood or and adolescence. So we will discuss them one by one. Here first we have the characteristic of the physical development we will discuss. If you look at the characteristics of the physical development, it says that during the childhood there are the changes in the child's height, weight and body proportion. The pace of this growth is more, okay, in later childhood, that is 7 to 12 years, than the early childhood. Right, so 7 to 12 is like kind of big time period, okay, when this kind of changes takes place, okay, in compared to the early childhood of 3 to 6 years. Now legs lengthen rapidly and there is an increase in the height. Okay, as you can see, the leg size increases and increase in the height. A gradual improvement in the speed also increases. A steadiness of the movement and accuracy also form the significant features of the physical development in early childhood, while at later stage they get very, okay, after physical activities, but after a certain time this become quite different. Okay, it is not similar changes, right? It becomes very slow pace of development, but also show a great interest in the competitive games which require the skill. Now this stage, which stage we are talking about? We are talking about the stage of physical development of a childhood is now going to be transformed into the blossoming period of child development, okay, which is known as called adolescence. Now let us now try to explore the characteristic. Now what are the characteristic of this adolescent stage? The adolescent stage, 13 to 18 years time period, it is noticeable change takes place in many domains like height and weight changes, proportion, okay, change in the voice, increase in the motor performance, sexual changes, okay, this sexual changes. Then both boys and girls have growth spurt caused by production of the hormones, Okay, there are a lot of hormonal changes takes place at this stage. A boy growth spurt is usually later than the girls. Okay, so means boys are quite when it comes to the development, physical development. So girls are faster in compared to the boys at this stage. The most important physical development in adolescence is puberty. Puberty is one of the most important change which takes place. Okay. Okay, and what is this puberty? It is the period of a person's life during which their sexual organs develop and they become capable of having children. Okay, so when they become sexually more mature at this stage, okay, girls can experience puberty around at the age of 11 only. Alright, for the boys it is slightly later. At this stage, there is a continuous growth in the height of girl, but at a very slower pace, okay, than earlier. The prominent changes can be seen in the bodily proportion with the broadening of the pelvic bone, circular wrist, while the arms and legs grow in length and become finer. Okay, the voice becomes sweet and shrill. In the terms of in the terms of secondary sex characteristic, the sex organs in the girls acquire maturity. Okay, the growth in the breast size, the hair growth, and at the pubic area, all right, and armpits, and change in their gait in the sense of way of walking, the way they walk, that changes also. Okay, these are the some of the characteristic of adolescence. Okay, and also there is a menstruation cycle which generally take place for the girls at the age of around 12 to 16. It says that research shows that the girls seems to be mature earlier than the boys do in the physical aspect. Okay, as I told you, that girls develop faster than the boys physically. And what kind of development we are talking here for the physical aspect when we are talking about? So this includes the rapid growth in the height, their weight. Okay, this is especially at the age of around 18 and 19. Development of means continues till the time of 18, 19. It remains. Development of their muscles, increase in the strength. Okay, the change of the bodily proportion can also be seen in the form of rounded shoulders. Okay, broadened chest and developed muscles. Okay, the maturity of larynx. Now what is this larynx? It's a voice box. Okay, can be noticed with broken and deepened voice. There is a change in the voice also. Okay, beside this, genital organ in the boys grow in size. Okay, other significant features of adolescent boys include hair growth in pubic, armpit, and facial areas. The physiological changes, okay, occurring commonly in the both boys and girls include the growth of all the internal system, pulse rate, complete brain development, skins become oily and acne, sweating may be problematic, and rapid growth may cause clumsiness and lack of coordination. Okay, so this kind of, and they often feel very hungry actually. Okay, sexual desires increase, fantasies of the children increase at this stage. Okay, that is for both boys as well as for the girls. Okay, now second development is your emotional development, and which has been defined here as an agitation. And what is agitation? Agitation is being worried or having anxiety that you show by behaving in a nervous way. All right, that is called agitation. So this is a stage of that. Okay, so intense, random, and disorganized responses to the stimulus it comes. Okay, in the modern life, emotions demands a greater understanding and all this blah blah stuff here. Okay, now let's look at the characteristic of the emotional development. What are these characteristics of the emotional development? At this childhood stage, the children experience the feeling of love, hatred, and fear. Okay, which last for a long time, and this is the formation of sentiments and complexes at this stage. Okay, sentiments means feelings. They develop the sense of autonomy. Autonomy means independence, combat, doubt, and shame. Okay, these all kind of senses they develop at this stage. Okay. And also at this stage there is a moodiness, anger, depression, anxiety, state of dilemma. Okay, and dilemma. Now what is this dilemma here? Dilemma is a situation which makes problem. Okay, often in which you have to make a very difficult choice. Okay, where you get confused between the two things which are equal. So that is called dilemma. So this kind of things, kind of what we can say in psychologically approach avoidance conflict kind of things arise at this stage. Okay, and also at this stage they shift to more to their friends. Okay, and they also take the opinion of others. Okay, and they also have the crush on the movie stars okay, and whatever movie they watch, they feel like more attached to them. They are found to be sexually attracted to the people at this stage. Okay, third one is our cognitive development. Okay, so when I talk about cognitive, so cognitive word, if I tell you, so it is something connected with the mental process of understanding. Okay, so that we are calling it as a cognitive development. So a child cognition means mental understanding refer merely to the achievements in the academic. Is there any role of cognition in developing other dimensions of child's personality? Now, child's cognitive development forms the foundation of many other developments like language, social, moral, emotional development. Okay, that all are the part of cognitive development. Okay, but the question arises that what is the cognitive development? The cognitive development involves a mental process that are associated with taking in, organizing, and making the sense of information processes that include perceiving, attending to, understanding, and recalling the information. All right. Let's have a look at the characteristic of cognitive. Okay, so in early childhood, the children start categorizing themselves. All right, one thing, they copy the shapes. Okay, they follow the instructions. All right, and understanding the concepts of days, times, money, and space. This all learning takes place. Okay, during their what we call it at the time of their cognitive development. Okay. So later childhood witness the cognitive development in the terms of increasing capability for social science and abstract thoughts. Okay, they also start thinking about their future careers and seek informations and knowledge from the peers and media. All right. On completing the later childhood, the children enter the stage of adolescence. Okay, and the fourth one we have is that is the moral development. So what is moral development means? We are talking about the ethical values here. Okay, the development of the ethical means what is right and what is wrong for someone, right? That is called your moral development. So every day we come across the many situations. We demand the reasoning and the right and wrong. The child start deciding that thing. All right. So that is the thing over here. And actually being moral or morality refers to the fundamental questions of right or wrong. Okay, justice, fairness, and basis of the human right. Okay, this kind of thoughts comes into the mind of a child at this stage of development. Okay, now these questions are competent for the moral development and emerge out of the social context. However, all right, so we discuss about the characteristic of the moral development now. Okay, so moral development is concerned with how the people grow in understanding the moral issues in making the moral decision. Okay, in early childhood, that is a period of 4 to 6 years, the children are very often concerned about their own personal well-being at 4 to 6 years. Okay, when they make the moral decision, they think in the terms of disruptive success and fair sharing of any stuff. Okay, but by the time they grow of 6 to 9 years, all right, so they think more destructive. Okay, children begin to develop the more empathetic and abstract method of moral reasoning at the age of 6 to 9. Moreover, the adolescents develop an understanding of the complexity of the moral issues like the question values, cultural expression, religious teachings, okay, etc. At this age it develops. Okay, child understand what is culture, what is society, what is religion. Okay. At this stage, individual also shows impatience with the pace of change and underestimate how difficult it is to make the social changes. Therefore, they need to be influenced by the adult role models. They get affected by that, okay, by the adult people especially, and who will listen and be trustworthy. Besides, they judge other quickly but accepted one's own faults slowly. Yet they show the compassion and have special concern for the animal and environment. They become like quite nature friendly also at this stage of life. Okay, the fifth one is our psychosocial development. So the psychosocial development reflects an interrelationship between the psychological development and emotional needs. It is the interrelationship between psychological and emotional needs and the way the individual interact with their environment. Okay, means who am I? That question comes into the mind of a child, that who am I? Right? Now what my close friends thinks about me, what is the opinion of others, especially my close friend from me. Okay, how am I different from others? Okay, and am I a kid or an adult? Okay, at this stage this kind of questions comes at this stage of development. Okay, All right. So here the Erikson has given one theory of psychosocial development that we are going to discuss now. So as per the Erikson's theory, when the children reach the elementary school, that is of 6 to 12 years of age, they soon learn that they can get recognition of the adult by producing things. Okay, for example, through their writing assignments, art projects, dramatic productions, okay, and so on. Okay, when the children are allowed and encouraged to make and do things, and when they are praised for their accomplishment, okay, when you praise them for their whatever achievements they have done, so they begin to demonstrate industry. Therefore, industry is a pattern of working hard, okay, persisting at lengthy tasks and putting work before pleasure. Right? So they start working hard on whatever they do. But when children are punished at this stage for their efforts, or when they find that they cannot meet the teacher and parents' expectations for their performance, they may develop a feeling of inferiority. So, according to Erikson, it is very important to praise the children at this psychosocial development stage, that they feel comfortable, they like to do their work. Okay, they are more industrious, or I mean to say, they are more hardworking. Okay, so this comes under the psychosocial development. All right, guys. So thank you very much for watching this video. Have a nice day and enjoy your day.